All right, good evening, everyone. My name's Megan Miley. I'm the program director at Dress for Success Twin Cities. This is the last in our Breaking Barriers series in partnership with Hennepin County Library System, St. Louis Park Family Services Collaborative, and St. Louis Park Community Education. So we're really it's very important that we're talking about the topic we are covering tonight, which is food assistance in the Twin Cities area. And I'm really optimistic and excited about how many resources I was actually able to just round up here. So hoping that all of this helps you in attendance and those individuals who watch this recording later. First thing I want to do is to introduce Shelby Gunderson from the Hennepin County Library. Go ahead, Shelby.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hennepin County Library is excited to be a co-host for this program series. Again, my name is Shelby, and my title is I'm a CTEP Digital Literacy Coordinator at Minneapolis Central Library. So this basically just means that I offer programming to do with digital literacy support and job search assistance. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I take one-on-one appointments. And I'm also offering a 5-part Google Workspace series. And this coming week, they're on Tuesdays from 6 to 8. I'm offering Google Slides. And then I could put the link for the registration in the chat. And then regarding food today, since we're talking about that, Hennepin County, we have a Hennepin County kiosk on the first floor of Minneapolis Central Library. And this can be helpful when signing up for public assistance benefits because there's a lot of steps to take. So this is a way to directly connect to them to have any questions answered. Again, thank you for attending and enjoy. Thanks.
Thank you, Shelby. And one thing I don't think I've necessarily really covered in the previous Breaking Barriers sessions is the reason that Dress for Success is doing this in partnership with the Hennepin County Library is because so many of our job seekers, their barriers to employment include a variety of things such as affordable housing, food assistance. What are the other things, Shelby, we have covered here? Digital literacy and access and so forth. So, and then childcare, that was the other big one. So we call them the big five. They're the ones that really get in the way of being able to do a job search, get a job, keep a job. So we wanted to really start with these community resources. And that's why we are doing this. And then we specifically planned this one this night before the week before Thanksgiving, because I don't know about you, but everybody's talking about, how they're going to spend maybe some time off, hopefully next week with family and friends and what they plan to be eating. So knowing that many of the families and individuals we're working with don't always know where their next meal is coming from. We did want to put together a lot of resources. Are you all seeing the presentation that says Breaking Barriers, Food Assistance? Okay. So I did gather a little bit of information about what, where we're at right now in Minnesota, what hunger looks like in Minnesota. And I don't know the specific date of this information. It's always it's going to be, probably past the last year's information, but indications of 1 in 17 people are facing hunger. That's a lot of people. 1 in 11 children are not getting enough food to eat. Hunger data pulled from Hunger Solutions here. This data is getting, it's coming around to being over a year old based on 2020 information published in 2021. That's 2 years. Good grief. What happened to that time there? But back in 2020, Minnesota food shelf visits popped up 7%. And as I can imagine, it really was influenced by the early days of COVID and the shutdowns and the layoffs, so forth. So lots of food shelves are being used a lot. Here we go. I thought this was an interesting way to phrase it. If Minnesota food shelves were open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, more than 7 people would visit a food shelf every minute. That's busy. That's very busy. So the next thing I'd love to do is introduce you to David Peoples. He's the program director of programs at Food Group. here in the Twin Cities. So I've got a food group website. I might transition out to the actual website as you're speaking, David. If there's resources you want to point me to, feel free to do that.
I'm sorry. Yes, hi, good evening. My name is David Peoples, and as Megan mentioned, I am the director of programs at the food group. We are a food bank located in New Hope, Minnesota. And I want to talk about two of our programs that we provide both in the Twin Cities and also in parts of greater Minnesota. First, I want to start off with the one program that we have is called Twin Cities Mobile Market. And what this is two retrofitted city buses that we have that are basically mobile markets that consist of fresh produce, some frozen, good, healthy meals also. But most importantly, many of the foods that are on this bus are provided by local farmers here in Minnesota. And also too, as part of our program with the food group, we have our own farms called Big River Farms. And it's an organic farm located in St. Croix. What's really great about that is that we have BIPOC farmers that are part of an educational program where they, one, learn how to grow organic foods there on site at our farm, but also two, we work and educate them on how to be entrepreneurs. And many of their foods that they provide and they grow, we also buy ourselves and make that a part of both our Twin Cities Mobile Market program and also our Fare for All program. So with the Twin Cities Mobile Market program, again, these are two retrofitted buses that primarily go to neighborhoods within the Twin City metropolitan area for locations that do not have easy access to grocery stores, or they have maybe poor access of transportation, or perhaps they're dealing with other major barriers that are affecting them to getting good, healthy, nutritious foods. So we take these buses directly to locations like high rises within Minneapolis and also in St. Paul, community centers, perhaps maybe some churches and so forth. And the one thing that people love about these buses is that, number one, again, it provides fresh, healthy, nutritious food. They can go on the bus and shop. They get assistance with shopping also with one of our staff. It's also, again, very affordable. We accept both, as you see it on the screen here, credit, debit cards, and also SNAP EBT. And we also have market bucks also too. It's a really great program. What's really exciting is that we're hoping to get a brand new bus next year. We're hopefully trying to get that bus on the road maybe by spring or early summer. It's just been a really, really great program that, again, provides easy access and good food for our neighborhoods in the Twin Cities. Okay. The second program I want to talk about is our Fare for All program. And what that is, that's a program in which we've got about 30 plus pop-up sites, both in the Twin Cities and in greater Minnesota, where we sell packs of produce and frozen meat for up to 40% off retail prices. Now, the way this program works, we have volunteer services that have volunteers that come in to our warehouse. They help us to bundle and to pack these food boxes. And typically we try to make these food boxes in $10 to $30 packages. And it will consist of, again, fresh produce, good frozen meats. So one good example is right now we have our holiday pack that we're providing now. That consists of a nice sized turkey, a very nice 10-inch pie, very good Thanksgiving sides and condiments with that also too. So and these pop-up services that we have, our Fare for All program, again, allow individuals to shop within their communities. Once again, at community centers, we may have a pop-up, maybe at a local church. And the reason why people love this opportunity again is that it provides one as a supplement to their shopping at a Cub Foods or at a Hy-Vee. It doesn't always necessarily replace what they're doing, but also too, sometimes also they're saying that they can get some better deals with our Fair for All programs than they're getting at perhaps at a local market in their area. And again, with these programs, it varies from people who are perhaps a low income to individuals who are middle income also who comes to this Fair for All programs that we have too. So that's how our programs work. And please make sure you go to our website, look at more information about both the Twin Cities Global Market Program and also the Fair for All program. And we look forward to providing good, healthy food and good services for both Twin Cities and Greater Minnesota. One thing I do want to add also, something that Megan mentioned, that one piece of data she showed about where you see the numbers of food shelf participants, that's increasing. One thing that we're noticing with our Fair for All programs, particularly in the last maybe 3 to 4 to 5 months, is that we're getting a lot of new foot traffic now. A lot of new families are coming through now because they're seeing the opportunity to save money, but also to get very easy access to local foods that are being grown and produced by BIPOC farmers here in the state of Minnesota. So again, please go to our website, and we'd love to service your communities as needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. Really appreciate that. Now we're going to hop over to Second Harvest Heartland with May, and also talking about SNAP, the SNAP program and SNAP benefits. So I am going to share my screen here. Or no, actually, May, you're going to share yours, correct?
Yeah,
You've got a
I do
presentation.
have a presentation.
Great. Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is May. I'm a SNAP outreach specialist with Second Harvest. For those who are not aware, Second Harvest, we are a nonprofit food bank. We have over 1,000 agency partners that we provide food to, and our mission is to end hunger. Within Second Harvest Heartland, however, we do have a couple of other service programs that works directly with clients. And that's the SNAP outreach program, as well as the what they call CSFP, the Commodity Supplement Food Program. So let me go ahead and share my quick presentation. All right. And in this session, we will go ahead and cover what is SNAP and what is CSFP, what are the program eligibility criteria, the documents that would be needed for each program, and how do I go about applying. So let's go ahead and start with the SNAP outreach program within Second Harvest. Just to give you a little background, our SNAP outreach program has been operating for 13 years. We do have a full team of staff members, and we also have 3 part-time language interpreters. Some of our staff, we do speak other languages such as Spanish, Tagalog, and Hmong. For any other languages that we do not speak, we do utilize a language line. And our goal is really simple. It's just to inform and educate the public about SNAP benefits, and also to assist participants with the application and guide them through the next steps. 13,200 SNAP referrals were made to us last year, and we assisted over 8,000 households with the application and the recertification process. So what is SNAP? SNAP is just I guess it's a benefit program, nutrition benefit program through the USDA, and it really helps our low-income Minnesotans get the food that they need. It is not intended to meet the entirety of someone's food budget. SNAP, once you do get approved for it, you will be issued a debit card called the EBT card, and this is exactly what it looks like. Benefits will be loaded on the card on the same day every month. SNAP eligibility in Minnesota, it is based off of 3 factors. One of them is the household size. The second one is income. And then third one is citizenship or immigration status. So really, how the county defines a household size is anyone who lives together and purchases and prepares food together. So this could be a family, this could be an individual, it could be roommates, or it could just be a senior or anyone with a disability. As I mentioned, income is another factor that does get looked into it. For family and single adults, you will have to meet the gross income limit. Starting in September, they increased the income guideline by 165% to 200, which just means that a lot more people who may not have been eligible in the past is now qualified. 100, if you see the net income limit. So if there's a household that has a senior age 60 or older, or has a person with a disability income, then they do have to meet the net income guideline. The kind of income that the county will be looking at is earned income, so wages, salaries from employment, self-employment. They will also be looking at unearned income, and these are such things as unemployment benefits, Social Security, child support, retirement benefits. And lastly, citizenship or immigration status, it is another factor. So all US citizens are eligible for SNAP benefits. Permanent residents who have been in the United States for 5 years are eligible for SNAP benefits. Refugees and asylees are also eligible for SNAP benefits, but do not have to be here for 5 years. And then US born children of non-citizens are also eligible. And really anybody who is gonna be eligible for SNAP benefits, they must have a valid Social Security number. The supporting documents the county will be asking for would be a copy of the head of the household's ID. They will be asking for proof of income for the last 30 days. They will ask for proof of shelter expense. Just know that if you don't have verification of this or you cannot provide it, it's not going to deny your application, but you definitely want to try to submit that if possible, so that you can get the correct benefit amount adjusted for you. And then proof of medical expenses are also something that the county does take into consideration, but this only applies to seniors or people who have Social Security disability income. Again, it is not a required document, but it will help out. And then if somebody is eligible for SNAP benefits, they will be issued benefits. The maximum benefit has increased from last year. So if it's a 1-person household, it's increased to $281. If benefits are issued to you and you do not use any of the money whatsoever for 9 months, just know that that money will be expunged. But of course, if they issue it to you and you use it, here and there, then you'll be fine. So just to kind of do a quick summary, if you were to submit an referral to us, or if an outside agency was to send a referral to us, we would contact that participant and we would do an eligibility screening. Now, all that's next step is exactly what's going to happen if you should choose to also just apply for SNAP on your own. The first thing is that you will need to do an application. Secondly, you will need to have an interview with a county worker. Third thing, you will need to provide the supporting documents. And then if you are eligible for SNAP benefits, you could be issued an EBT card either within 5 days if you are considered like an emergency case, or you can be issued a EBT card within 30 days. And jumping over to the CSFP program. So the CSFP program is formerly known as NAPS, Nutrition Assistance Program for Seniors. Sounds very similar to SNAP. This program provides a box of food that weighs about 30 pounds. We do distribute this program at least around Minnesota. There's about 230 CSFP NAPS sites, and it is a once a month pickup. This pickup will just depend on where you live. So the staff would try to assign you somewhere closest to you. So that could mean that you would do a monthly pickup at a food shelf or a community center, or if you live in a high rise, sometimes some of the high rises also has that monthly distribution as well. And just to kind of give you a sample of or an idea of what is in the boxes. So it does contain a little bit of everything. As you can see, it is a lot of canned items. All these items, they do change every month. But if there's fruits in there, the types of fruit that's going to be in the box is going to be different from what it was the previous month. Same thing with the fruit juices or the canned meats. And the CSFP program is only for those who are 60 years old or older. And then it is determined based off of household size and gross monthly income. So this kind of gives you an idea of what the income limit is. The supporting documentation that they will ask from you when you go to register the first time, or when you go pick up your food for the very first time, is that they will want a copy of your ID. They will want a piece of mail confirming that you live at the address that you say you do. And then they just want you to reconfirm what your income is. So the good thing about this program is that you don't need to provide verification of it. It is based on the honor system. So they just ask that you just tell them, you know, how much it is that you're getting, so they can just see if you are going to be eligible. And if you're interested, you can certainly call that number to get enrolled. Or there's also an online application. You could fill it out. It will be sent to one of the CSFP staff. They will look it over, and then they will contact you to assign you a site to pick up your box of food. All right, let me go ahead and pause it and stop sharing. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, feel free to unmute and ask May direct questions. She is going to hop off after her presentation, so she won't be around to answer questions later. So feel free to pop those in the chat.
And Megan, I can also share the PowerPoint with you as well, so you can distribute it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, May. You have a great night. Thanks for what you do, and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go. We've got a question here. Who can make referrals?
Anyone.
That's a great question. Anyone.
It could be a
So you-
self-referral outside.
You could self-refer in.
Mhm.
Okay. Or there could be an agency. For instance, Dress for Success could reach out to or refer someone. Okay. That is wonderful. Some organizations require very specific referral partners, and they have to register and things like that. So great question. Thank you so much. All right. With that, have a great night, May. And I am going to share my screen and keep going through the resources I found. And I do encourage you all to pop into the chat box if you know of resources that you haven't heard us cover tonight that you think could be helpful to everyone in the room. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my presentation here and just kind of work through it here. One thing May had talked about with the SNAP program, SNAP is not the same thing as the WIC program, which is additional supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, and also assistance with nutrition support and breastfeeding support and so forth. So wanted to share that resource with all of you if you were not aware of that, if you have infants, children, and I'm not sure about the guidelines there on the age too. So if anyone here is using WIC or knows about it or has used it in the past, please feel free to share in the chat box what you know and if you have any suggestions or guidance on that. So some of the organizations in Hennepin County in particular, knowing that not necessarily everybody watching this or on the call tonight is in Hennepin County, but include CEAP, CEAP. There is there are food, it's a food shelf in the Brooklyn Park area. So I wanted to highlight that organization. And then moving over into the Bloomington area, we've got Veep. So that is another organization for food assistance. Veep also has a mobile food pantry similar to Food Group that goes around, and these are a couple of locations, St. Nick's in Richfield, and I apologize, the Islamic Center, I'm not sure how to pronounce the first part. If someone knows how to, please feel free to unmute and let us know. That is on Park Avenue in Bloomington. And it says every Friday from 12 to 2 for that Bloomington location, and Saturdays from 2 to 4 in Richfield. That's wonderful. All right, moving on to the St. Louis Park area. There's an organization called STEP for St. Louis Park Emergency. I can't read if that's a partnership or program or what that P stands for, but that's STEP, and specifically as the food shelf there. And I did capture the prop shop out of Eden Prairie has an emergency food shelf service. And then the big one, I think that I would point everybody to, because you're not going to rely on just one location, one organization when you need services like this. You want to know as many as possible, is to call the United Way. So I'm going to share my screen here with the United Way, giving them a call at 211. You may need to dial locally 651-291-0211. Let's see here. I want to share their directory. Let me know if I'm going too fast or anything like that. Okay. And I might need your guidance here. Somebody, Shelby, if you might just pop on for me. Make sure that the screen I'm sharing is what I think it is. It says food.
Yes.
Okay, great. Because I'm toggling on one computer with a bunch of screens, and sometimes it doesn't always track. Okay, so when you call 211, they will also be looking at their database, and then this is a website. We'll include this in, I'm going to pop it in the chat box right now for everybody. There we go. So these are a number of resources, including SNAP, which May had just talked about, and WIC down here, but CSAs, those farms, right? The ethnic foods, farmers markets, all kinds of great mobile markets. Be sure to check those out. Here's another one. I don't know if anybody in the room is aware of this one, or maybe there are other Facebook pages that share upcoming community events related to free food and resources. So this, I've been watching this site for quite a while. Oh, look at, they even have a Toys for Tots promo there. Thanksgiving dinner. Actually I have some resources on that. We'll go on to list in just a moment. Free Food Friday. They tend to have a lot of pop-up church locations and things like that, where those locations might not be in the big 211 database because they're pop-up events, or maybe 1 or 2 time events a year. So I think this could be a really helpful resource if you already use Facebook, is to sign up and join that group. It's across the Twin Cities. So again, if you know of additional resources, please share that in the chat box. All right, I'm going to move to Minneapolis food shelves. Found this. Whoop, I just copied and pasted the same link. Hang with me. Copy. All right. Lots of little links here. Okay. Minneapolis food shelves. So not sure how many people here in the room are in Minneapolis exactly or not, but a whole bunch of resources, listings in Spanish and Somali in addition to English. And when you open these up, and I'm not sure my website is, are you seeing that spreadsheet, Shelby? Oh, good, it went with it. Okay, so I love this. Look at, there's so many different food shelves, and they've just got all that information listed right there. How many pages do we have here? Total of 4 pages. So that, I thought that was a really helpful thing to be aware of. And then we've got additional resources. Again, SNAP, here's the food group. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. I just think in this regard, more resources are, the more the better. The more the better. Salvation Army has a listing of where they offer weekday lunches, dinners, additional food shelves, may or may not overlap with what we just saw, and fresh food distributions. This is all related to the Salvation Army, so I wanted to include that resource. Minnesota Food Helpline. Let's take a look at that. And then this is all related to hunger solutions here in Minnesota. Let's see here. So Hunger Solutions has a database. So you can enter your location. So for instance, Shelby at Hennepin County Library, downtown Central, are you at 55401? Do you know what your zip is? Okay, so right there in the heart of Minneapolis, and you can see a number of organizations coming up here, a lot of high rises, farmers markets, and so forth. So that's really nice that it's just very regionalized there. And then I do want to show the Minnesota Food Helpline. So that's a number you can call directly. See if I can find it here. Minnesota Food. You just Google it. Right there. Okay, I remember having just a little bit of trouble getting to it before, but I found the phone number. It's this number right here, but I'm not quite sure why I can't, like go to a website. I get this Dayton's Bluff thing. There we go. There we go. Minnesota Food Helpline. So you can call, because I think it's good to know this number, 1-888-711-1151, or there's a chat feature you can use. But sometimes you just need and want to talk to someone, right, to help navigate it for you versus digging around on the website. And I don't know about you, but if I'm using my cell phone, it's hard sometimes to navigate everything. So to have someone do that by calling that 211, the United Way, or calling the Minnesota Food Helpline could be very helpful. I did also, so I've got 2 more resources I'm going to share with you, and then I am going to turn off the recording and invite you to ask real-time questions, knowing that you're not going to be recorded. But we have Meals on Wheels. And this one you can also look by zip code. It is specifically, it's typically for seniors. Am I right? So different organizations there. I'd like to find out kind of where exactly the eligibility is. So curious if anybody in the room knows, and if you're willing to share, we'd love that. Love to know more there. I'm struggling to find information on who is eligible. Maybe I'm missing the eligibility piece. So if you know, please share. Love to learn more about that organization, and if there is a cutoff for age. Okay, and then lastly is it looks like KSTP is at Channel 5. Yeah, provided a website here on where to get free Thanksgiving meals here in 2022. We've got Minneapolis Life Center at 12 noon. Now that was November 19th. No, it is November 19th coming up. So that's Thursday is today. So it's Saturday at 12 noon. Union Gospel Mission. That is on Thanksgiving, it looks like. Lutheran Church of Hopkins, ICA Food Shelf in Minnetonka. There's a location here in Monticello, New Ulm. So now we're getting a little farther out. But I want to make sure you all know about that. So we will be putting all of the links that we're talking about here tonight in the YouTube recording description. We'll be following up with both the video and all of the links to your emails after this session here. I'm going to check the chat box. Okay, thank you. We do have a little information. Oh, thank you, Shelby, for sharing that. The frequently asked questions for Meals on Wheels. I'm just looking here. Who is eligible? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm so grateful they went out and looked at that. Got that for us. Here we go. Who is eligible? That is the question I have. Okay. Meals are available both on a long-term basis and temporarily if you are recovering from surgery or illness. Okay, so it's not so much age related. Great to know. Diabetic and other specific meals, low sugar, low sodium, delivery options. Yeah, so that's another question I had is, how many of the organizations that we talked about here tonight, will they deliver? Or do you need to go there? So that's another thing I think we're going to want to seek out and see if we can articulate more in that resource roundup as we're writing it all down. So I am going to turn off the recording at this point.